Quick introductions. My name is Samir Venugopal. I'm a Senior Vice President at Knowledgehut, and I lead enterprise business globally for Knowledgehut. And I really want to welcome you all to this roundtable discussion on the benefits of Scrum for enterprise. At the outset, I really want to thank each of you for taking the time to join in today and contribute your views on the discussion topics. Knowledgehut has been in Europe for over a decade, serving as skilling partner to enterprise, many of the Fortune 500 companies. And it's been our endeavor to encourage the Scrum community to come together and share information and ideas that could be useful at work. And we plan to continue doing events such as this to foster increased collaboration between the community, both with and within. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our esteemed speakers, Zuzi Sokova, Jem Jilal, and Vladimir Trush, who've been kind enough to partner with us in bringing you this roundtable. They have collectively trained and coached many thousand learners across the globe and continue to do so for our customers in Europe. I'm sure we will all benefit from this experience and the wisdom, the collective wisdom. By the way, this is one of our first attempts at creating an event of this size online with multiple breakout rooms where every participant is a panelist themselves. We have tried to make sure that the technology works, and so far it has. So please sit back and enjoy the program. Just some quick hygiene. You will automatically get a link at the end of the general session. And just clicking on that link should take you to the pre-allocated panel that you're on, right? So no worries if you can't get into that panel by clicking the link, or you have any other technical issues, just come back to the general session, and our resident breakout jockey, Nick, will help you rejoin the panel that you were in. Now, once more, wishing you all a great experience. Last words, do remember to rate the event on receiving a survey link. Your feedback is really important to us and helps us get better each time. So thank you once more. And Shruti, over to you. We can go over the speakers now. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Samir, for a nice introduction about Knowledgehut. I'd personally like to thank Vlad, Zuzi, and Jem for joining in for today's event. All of you have been very responsive, and I personally have been looking forward to this event. Quick introductions to the eminent speakers we have for today. I begin with Ms. Susanna. Zuzi Sokova is an independent Agile coach and a trainer, and a certified Scrum trainer with more than 20 years of experience in the IT industry. She started with Agile and Scrum back in 2005 when she was implementing Agile methods in the USA. From that time, she's been credited with Agile transformation and implementation for many companies and teams around the world. By creating and sustaining Agile leadership, Zuzi believes the worlds of work and life can be made happier and more successful. By creating and sustaining Agile leadership, Zuzi believes the worlds of work can be happier and successful. Zuzi is a founder of the Czech Agile Association and the world famous Agile Prague Conference. Zuzi was elected to the Scrum Alliance Board of Directors in 2017. She is also an author of the great Scrum Master, #Scrum Master Way book, and the Agile Leader Addison Wesley in 2020. So today we have Zuzi join with us, and it's immense pleasure for Knowledgehut and all the participants. I would now invite Ms. Zuzi to have a quick keynote talk for all of us before we move on to introductions of the other two speakers for the day. Over to you, Zuzi.
Thank you for a nice introduction, sir. I got 10 minutes of pleasure to talk to you about one of my favorite topic, Agile leadership. And I was thinking I'll start with a story, because it all started with a story anyway. So one summer afternoon in 2010, I was given 3 departments of developers, testers, and hardware guys. And I was asked to form one single department out of them, a department with high flexibility, faster learning, and collaboration, and ability to build cross-functional teams among those domains. So, and I also was asked to come back with my own idea, how I want to run this new department next week. So I went home, sit in the garden and think about it. And then it came to me, wow, I can finally change it, everything. And then it came back to me, the image of 100 people coming to me every day as questions, requests, approvals. It was overwhelming. And I felt tired even before I started. So I finally started thinking, like, why do I always have to change the system? Why I always have to challenge things? Why I can't just do it as everybody else? Just come with a few managers and do it. No, I don't. So I was close to give up, but the next day brought a new energy, and I got the courage to present later that week a very different structure based on self-organizing teams and no managers. To give you a bit of context, our chairman was a short man, over 60s, low voice, almost no hair, typical traditional manager with a hierarchy hard-coded in his DNA. He was like always wearing a suit, keeping distance, and having this aura of a person who could never be wrong. So next week I was ready with my presentation, excited, but also a bit nervous. And he's been clearly in a good mood, sitting in front, making jokes, and then he has started the meeting. Let's start with the engineering structure. We need to know, who do you expect to be the managers at your new department? And I was like in a panic, right? Saying like, what shall I do? I have no managers. Oh my God, they're gonna kick me out of the window right now, the first day. And then I started, I was like, okay, so let me start. And let me go back to the real reason why we were having this change in the first place at all. So we want to get this high flexibility, faster learning, those innovative, creative ideas from the people. Is that right? And they were nodding, yes. So I did the research on similar companies and came up with a flat structure based on self-organizing teams with no management in that department. He was like, no management? Yes, no management, because no management is an enabler of empowerment and motivation and creativity, and it emerged from the agile teams. So you want to make it all agile, huh? Yes. Let's try that. After all, we suddenly want to change. We want to be a modern organization. And to be really honest with you, I don't remember the rest. He just said yes to my crazy idea. And he's been struggling with it and complaining about it from that time on. But we were on a journey. It was a very fascinating journey, but I think the first learning from what I'm speaking here about from this story is agile is not your goal. They didn't tell me yes because I said I want an agile organization. They actually told me yes because I gave them the real reason for that change. I reconnect to the real business need. There was flexibility and fast learning in our case and more creativity for our products. And that's what we really needed. That's what our customers were asking for. And to make it a little bit more general, over those years, this thing is the most common reason why organizations fail their agile journey. They don't have that reason clear. They don't know. They don't know how to measure success then. All they say, we have to be agile. No, you don't. No one needs to be agile. But you might need to achieve some of the strategic goals, and then agile might be the journey. might be the reason. So remember, before you start changing anything, better check why. Because those exact things are what you're gonna measure. Then once you start, right? The thing is that it is a journey. You're moving from that very hierarchical organization with those managers, fixed processes, fixed roles, everything defined, to something which is not that defined. It's like a living organism. It's like a flotilla of small boats instead of a big tanker boat. And very often people are afraid it's going to bring a chaos. How do those people know if you don't tell them exactly? Because that's the autonomy, right? How do they know? So you imagine when you've been little, I'm quite sure everybody was going to those kids camps, and you've got those tasks like go to the island, no matter how you get there, but put the flag on, right? And we've been all competing and all trying to win, but also all helping to each other. Because if one of our team from our camp would win, then we are the winners. Of course, I was trying to be the couple who made it first. But if we can, we help the other two or other couples from our team. So one of those things which puts that whole autonomous team, dynamic structure, agile organization otherwise, or kids camp together is that mission, that purpose. If they all buy in, if they all want to get that flag on the island, they do their best, whatever it takes. But of course, if that purpose is low and they don't understand it and it's fuzzy and unclear, say, we go fishing instead. How about if we go swimming before we go to that island? Who cares about that island anymore, right? So first thing, have a reason why. Second thing, have a purpose, why you're here, and have that clear and strong enough. Because if you can't, people will go to all different directions. And then finally, my last tip for today, because 10 minutes is really short, is like, don't wait for anybody. You are a leader. And when I say leader, I don't mean manager. Because as I told you in my intro story, we don't need any managers necessarily in agile organizations, but we need leaders. And everyone is a leader. Leadership is a state of mind. Am I willing to take over the ownership and responsibility? And start. Take a first step. I want to do this. I want to achieve that. Whoever is willing to help me, join me. That's how the self-organization works. Somebody with an idea, step back. And by the way, in your organization is only waiting for you to wait until you get that idea, get that vision, and help your organization to move forward. So, have reason why, make it clear for everyone, because Agile is not your goal. Those strategic reasons are, and that's how you're going to measure your Agile transformation success. Second tip today is about purpose. Have that purpose co-created by everybody and get that buy-in from everybody, because if it's strong enough, they will align and do whatever it takes. And the third one, everything starts with leaders. You are the leader. Leaders need to change first. The organization will follow. And by the way, it was very like a short kind of thing, deep dive into this topic. If you're interested about knowing more, I've just got published a book which is called Agile Leader, so you can get it on all Amazon, etc. So, and there is a question answer after that. So, back to you.
Sure. Thank you, Susie. I mean, the story really got interesting. So if you want to take a couple of minutes, we should be able to do that. Or if you want to do that later as part of breakout rooms. I think that's great as well.
If anyone has any question, then,
Sure, great. So participants, you can go ahead and type your questions in. And as we move ahead, you will have a lot of time to interact with Susie, Lad, and Jem, all our speakers for the day. So feel free to type in your questions and keep your questions with you. We'll come back to you soon. Thank you, Susie. That was very interesting. Over to the next eminent speaker for today. We have Waldemar with us. I have a very interesting profile because I have a profile in highlights. So you may not hear me say a single paragraph. So I'm hoping to be able to make this to the point and just as highlights. So Vlad is a certified Agile coach. He is the top one executive coach in Eastern Europe, and he's coached more than 350 business owners within a year, which is almost like one per day. And he has also coached teams and individuals from 92 different countries. He is the member of ICF. He's been part of the Forbes Coaches Council. He's one of the first certified team coaches in the world. And he's been with organizations from different Fortune 500 companies, which have been the largest direct selling companies in the world. He's also an author and coach of an international program for certified Scrum product owners via coaching NPS 95. Vlad, we're very excited to have you as part of this event, and it's been great interacting with you during the planning of this event. So over to you for a quick introduction.
Thank you very much. Wow, that's where a lot of different facts, but it's all facts. And what is really important is the value you can receive today from me. And you can do it by asking questions. And what I plan to share with you in these 10 minutes, actually the insights, the lesson learned, what I had during all this experience by working almost, imagine 92 countries. It's happened this year. We reached that level with my organization. And today I'll be sharing what we learned, what we found as a secret of successful team organization and individual in all the continents. I will share my screen so for you to have some notes on that also. I hope you can see my screen. Yeah. Okay. Usually silence mean no, or usually silence mean we have no idea what you guys.
Sorry, cool. We can't see the screen.
That's amazing. So
it's very clear.
Perfect. So the first thing what I would like to share with you is what completely changed the way how I am operating, what I'm doing, and why I'm doing. I always heard on the market, oh, this culture in this Google, this culture, Amazon. We also would like to have such culture like in Facebook. But then I was like, but what is the secret behind it? I want to know the secret so I can help my next client to have the same. And I was exploring, I was searching, and actually, this is what I found. On 95%, each business, doesn't matter where it is, consists of very similar rules and norms. And people who are making decisions, doesn't matter where they are, in which continent, except some cultural small difference, they're really making decisions in a similar way. And that was a big surprise for me because I was waiting for some great secret what makes Facebook, or what makes Google, but there was not. So actually the secret is that there is no secret. And on the other side, I was not able to find identical, the same team and the same organization. And then imagine if 95% we have same rules and norms, and on the other side, we cannot find the same organization, what should we do? And how to start this scaling? And my suggestion is always know your context. I completely agree with Susie just said. It's all about starting with why. It's all about starting with why you're doing it, what you want to achieve, what is the end goal, how you will celebrate the success. And this I found is topic number one. So without knowing your context, where you are now, what you want to achieve, the scaling can even hurt your organization, your business in general, and it will be more expensive, it will take time, and you can even lose some potential on the market. How you can explore that? For example, very simple. These are not all the questions. These are just the beginning, which you can ask yourself, your organization, to figure out where are you now? Where are your teams located? What about your product? What about your market? What about your speed of delivery? By knowing this context, by setting up the direction, it's a great start for scaling. It's a great start for moving forward. I like this slide from Scrum at Scale, because the usual next step when we said that, okay, we know where we want to be, we know our current context, then what? And then this. Before any type of scaling, we have to create a scaling free architecture. And it's also described in a large scale Scrum pretty nicely. I copied this slide from Scrum at Scale, and scaling free architecture means that if we will not focus at the beginning on what's working now and scale it, we will bring waste to the next level. and it will be even worse. So at the beginning, before each scale, we are making a step back, we are doing the scaling, we are making sure that at least with one team, with a couple of people, we can achieve really great results, and then only we are applying scaling. And the main goal, we are scaling horizontally, not vertically, because I see it quite many times when organizations starting to add more and more and more people on top, and then we have so many people who need to sign simple thing, what the button can look like on a website, and it's taking years for release and so on. Then I found a next very interesting fact, which was totally surprising for me, that only 20% of employees are really running your business. So if you rephrase this sentence, 20% in your organization really bring the value for the organization. But what about the others? We had a case with one of my clients. He said, no, it's not really possible. I will just go there. And so what we do, we switched the roles. We took all the C-level people, all the top managers, and bring them to the people who are doing the job exactly, who are talking with the customers. And then they spend around a week doing this job. And the numbers were that it was like 21 and 3%. The other C-level people, what they were doing, they were getting messages about hotels during vacation. They were getting messages where to go on the next winter vacation. So the organization actually found that half of their departments was just existed there because historically it was like that, and not because it was really needed to tackle some need. And that's what's happening in the huge organization. We are so busy with going forward. We're so busy with our business goals, so we don't have time to figure out what else we can do, how else we can improve. And thing is here that also some information for the leaders. It's really important to find those 20% and motivate them correctly, because it's very easy to lose this person who is really bringing the value for the organization. And if you have a large scale organization, it's very easy to just lost them from your view, because these people who are bringing the value, not always those people who are immediately visible, and that's one of the reasons. If you would like to scale, few things are important. At the beginning, it's if you would like to change something, we need to visualize it first. When we will see the numbers, when we will see how it's working now, we can do some steps. So what I recommend, quite often I'm getting the question, how our team can do better with the estimates, how our team can do better with the story points, numbers. And I'm always saying, don't focus on numbers, don't focus on story points, focus on process efficiency. Do you know currently your process efficiency per user story? So switch your focus. And the numbers, it's for the team to know how they can work better. For the business, look on these numbers. So if you will know your process efficiency, if you will know in general, even you can take a look on time to market. All these small details, what is needed for time, will be no longer important. And instead of losing time on managing, did you log hours in the end of the day? We just and then you have this huge machine who is tracking all of that and bringing zero value. You'll be focusing on what's really important. So first step, visualize it. If you want to improve it, let's visualize it. But second step, if your organization works in a complex environment where not always known how to do or what to do, then without Kaizen, without continuous improvement, it's not really possible to move on. So if we are not exploring how we are doing the current step, the next step will be almost impossible to do. And I have seen many teams saying, oh, this retro, it's boring, it's not useful. Why we need to sit and talk about what? And that's actually, at the end, this company will not last long. Because if you're not talking how we are currently moving, soon our competitors will be faster. Because it's about imperatives, it's about working in a complex environment, it's about analyzing where we are, where we want to be, and if you're not doing it, there is probably no future. So if you don't know where to start, I would like to advise to take a look on the 8 ways of lean. There is a really nice description of what can be, what you can improve in your organization. However, if you will start with process efficiency per user story, it will give you immediate answers where you need to start, what you want to improve. When you should not scale, and it's possible. My answer is the following: if you can prioritize. If you can't really know what is important now for you, don't start doing any scale. If everything is important in the same moment and everyone needs to do everything, don't scale, because it will be even worse. Now imagine you have one team and everything was important for one team. Nothing will change if you will have 10 teams. Everything will be important for 10 teams. So firstly, do a step back, do this scaling, make things important in a line. First that, then this, then that. Then there is a chance that you'll do scaling in a normal way. What I would like to share individually for you, we are all investors, actually, and it's true. Every day we are investing our time, energy, resources in something. And this is what we are doing every morning or during the day. And nowadays we have tons of different information. It's just flying to us. And we don't need super expensive courses, materials, and so on. All this information can be found in the internet. And our main task is to extract from this information the knowledge. So to get the knowledge and then to build some expertise on it and to find the right people or join the right people, build a team, and then it's a path to success. I like to say that every entrepreneur is actually solving two questions: where to go and with whom to go. So the team is really important. Unfortunately, in the last years, I've seen that we are not really focusing to build this successful team, cross-functional, self-organized, motivated team, as Susie said, without the managers. Usually the managers there are telling the team what to do, and this is not the healthy situation to help the team to grow. So what I would like to share for you, that there will be no miracle, there is no secret skills. All people are almost the same, but what we can do, we can make a few steps forward. And I like this path to success path. It's for individual and also applicable to the team. So to be successful as an individual, this is the way. Firstly, we are getting expertise. Then from all the information, what we can find in the internet, we are transforming it to the knowledge. Then we are searching the right people who can help us building in our organization. Then we are defining the strategy and getting the resources. What will happen if we will start not from the expertise? Imagine that we got the funding. We got a funding, but then we don't have knowledge, we don't have expertise in team. This investor will say, yeah, I will give you, but I will not return to you anymore. So we will fail. This way is one of the most successful, which I found, and I recommend to everyone. But again, try it and let me know. This is what I found useful. And the last thing from my side, let's start acting now. The strongest promise is a promise made publicly. So if you have now any idea what you want to achieve in the nearest months, week, year, make it do it, show it, add it to the Facebook, use a text so we can find it. We can make a comment on that, and imagine that in 1 week you will get a notification about your idea, and imagine that if it will be achieved, how happy you will be. So do not hesitate. You will have a couple of seconds now. Do a promise publicly, and you will see how it will motivate. And more public, it better. So I hope that was useful. Any questions, welcome. Thank you, guys. I'm starting to share the screen if I will find the how. Should be somewhere.
Great. Lovely. Thank you very much, Lad. That was indeed very interesting. I'm sure the participants will take the opportunity of interacting more with you as part of the breakout rooms. Yeah. So over to our next eminent speaker for today, Mr. Jem Jelly. We have Jem joining with us as well. And as part of the breakout room session, he will be covering the topic on why most agile transformations fail. A quick introduction to Jem before he takes over. Jem's first daily Scrum was in 2005 at Citigroup Investment Bank. Since then, Jem has coached over 150 plus teams in lots of different environments as a Scrum Master and an Agile coach. He brings his compassion and lived experience to all the roles. Jem is a practitioner first and then a teacher, priding himself on real-world experience. He is a certified Scrum trainer and coach at Dr. Martens and Shell. He understands the nature of the challenges and then explores the means which might be agile. His time is split between coaching and teaching. He is a seasoned speaker and knows how to engage an audience. He very fondly says, feel free to say hi if any of these things interest you. So you all know you have an opportunity to say hi to Jem in the next couple of minutes that we actually for the next 1 hour while the session is on. Over to you, Jem.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a lot to live up to, isn't it? Engaged speaker. Well, you're going to find out, so no pressure. I'll just share my screen and we will get going. Okay, cool. Can I just check that the PDF is visible that I've got here?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, good stuff. There used to be a funny beer ad from Heineken, and they stopped doing it because it was illegal. And they used to say, probably the best beer in the world. They used to, right? And people picked up on that. So I want you to know, there's a similar vein from my two other peers before. There are no silver bullets and there are no secrets, but there are certain things that you start to spot as time goes on, okay? And these are the things that I want to share with you today. This is the 15th state of Agile. It's a report that happens on I believe it's a yearly basis. And just take a moment to look at the significant Agile adoption barriers. Inconsistency in processes and practices, cultural clashes. By the way, I'm defining culture as the way we do things around here, so around behavior. General organization resistance to change, lack of skills and expertise, absence of leadership, participation, inadequate management support and sponsorship. Now, I've seen these things appear at various levels in some of the biggest transformations in Europe. I am confident that all of these factors involve alignment, okay? If you're going to be setting up new processes and practices, agreeing on what behaviors are going to serve our strategy, and so on, alignment, which is about moving towards a direction. That seems pretty obvious. But the standout thing that is more important than just intellectually understanding the direction of a goal is engagement. And that for me feels like the most important factor when it comes to optimizing your ability for success versus failing. And by engagement, I'm talking about a willingness and an interest, okay? So we are able, if we want to, we could comply, okay? We can comply. Compliance is, I will do my job because I'm told to do it, all right? And I've done that in jobs before. I've coached many teams like that before. In many transformations, this is common. So people go with the flow and they may not be inspired. They can be pushed towards it. There's a bit of force as well. And there's an artificial harmony. You might have heard this term from the 5 dysfunctions of a team. It's quite a popular old book, right? You know, just people will show a perception or an outward way, which is not really real. Whereas if we create engagement, which is where we inspire, where we interact, and we have more of a pull than a push, and we're comfortable and we feel safe enough to have a spirited debate. This is more about a tone of, I'm interested, I'm listening, I'll give it a go. So whether it's strategy or process or culture or whatever framework or methodology you use, if we have an engaged workforce, we are going to optimize our chances of reaching our destination. And the first talk that we heard was great, because Agile is not the point. It's about understanding the means. And so if we are engaged, I think we'll have a better time and a better chance of getting there. Now, you know, one reaction could be, well, I should go and learn about how to engage people. Absolutely. And there's no shortage of great articles and literature. There's so much knowledge out there about engagement, from, you know, popular reads such as Forbes or the Business Harvard Review, or the consortium where there was like an engagement project, which is really interesting to check out. So we don't lack the information. So what do we lack? Just to get aligned on what some of the narrative and the philosophy of engagement is in the 21st century, from people like, you know, Dan Pink, and there's lots of other popular writers. But we talk about things like, take this snippet from Forbes. You know, I know what is expected of me and my work quality. I have the resource and training to thrive in my role. I have the opportunity to do what I do best, and so on. I have mapped this out just from my own experience to mean these things. Purpose, I know where I'm going and I'm going to make an impact. Autonomy, I get to act on my own volition. Mastery, I get to do my job well. Support, I have the surrounding ecosystem give me what I need to be effective. And recognition, to be recognized in a way which is not detrimental to a team effort. So with that said, this is part of the problem. When these changes go through, and this is how I've experienced it, so this isn't truth, this is just what I've seen. There's a little bit of an abracadabra syndrome, as I call it. So it starts off with energy. It starts off with a direction, and it's all very well intended. There's no question about it. There's nothing sinister about it. The strategy, the vision, we want to send the people on the courses. We want to support them. We want to use the right words. We're going to put the cool wording on our company walls. It's great. But the expectation is that if we do that right at the start and we wave our wand, we'll get the result what we, that we sought after. And of course, the nature of any complex system. If you think about society is a complex system. It's a social system, just like our organizations, right? Our teams, they're social systems. And we may set out with a purpose or a change in society, but people do what they do, which is they sometimes fade. Real life takes over. Organizations start to move at speed. They have to appease stakeholders. Maybe there's a new venture capitalist kind of structure that's coming. It's affecting our behavior. Managers come, managers go. We have new ways of building a business model. Stuff happens. And so that purpose becomes foggy. The autonomy, well, the autonomy dial starts to get turned down because we haven't got time for that anymore. We need to go faster. The mastery, you're going to have to hurry up now. You can't write those automation tests. You can't use solid principles to write your code. You're going to have to just get it out there quicker. Support, recognition, things start to fade. And as things start to fade, people become disengaged. They start questioning whether this vision that this company, that this CEO set out, were they really sincere about it? And when engagement starts to dip, we are back to where we were. And so this is a very, primal way to paint an ecosystem. We have teams, we have different levels of management, and we have feedback loops. So the question is not if, but when we've started off on the right foot and we've spoken about the right things and we've set our vision to move towards our strategy and we've got the metrics and, we're understanding what impact we want to make for a customer. What will we do? Not if, but when things start to fade. Things will get foggy because, as I say, life happens. We're talking about a complex system. If it was a linear, predictable system, no problem. But we're not machines. Things change. In my experience, whether it's a coaching role or creating a coaching capability within your experience, that is what is key. Being able to enable the people at the coalface, and I'll summarize on my last slide what enable would mean, what it would look like, is of paramount importance. So we don't fall into the Kazam, abracadabra, we're good to go, we've transformed. We've rolled it out. But like a good gardener, how do we continually cultivate? How do we keep things fresh? How do we keep one another honest? If we've spoken about autonomy and we're seeing our autonomy is being limited, let's speak about it. If we're seeing the vision is unclear, let's talk about it. But what does that actually mean? Again, this is quite simplistic and I wanted to roll it into one place, into a 10-minute speech. But these three elements have been the factors that have really made an impact in the gigs or the organizations I've worked with to see more success. Helping teams find their voice, leveraging empiricism and making it impactful. As I end with 50 seconds left, helping teams find their voice is about activism. Activism is about equipping the people in society, in your society, if you think about it, with the ability to create the campaign to get the attention of the leaders, of your councillors in their borough. That might be a communities of practice. That might be turning up to the town hall, asking those right questions, those challenging questions, leveraging empiricism. Sometimes we forget that empiricism is not just about the sprint burn down or the cumulative flow diagram, but it's also subjective. It's about the thoughts and the feelings of people and giving importance to that. And then finally, making it impactful, as I wrap up, is about framing information in a way that it makes an impact. The way that I would explain, I don't use the word sell, but sell information to a middle manager versus somebody at the development team level, it's different. What is the issue? So what that is an issue? Tell me the impact. And now what? What is your hypotheses? If we can equip coaches and build coaching capability with these above skills, we stand a much stronger chance in creating a transformation. We don't have to use the word agile. If it means going towards a better place, I'm all for it. There you go. I'm sorry I'm a little bit over.
That's absolutely all right, Jem. I'm sure all the attendees enjoyed it just as I did. So great, perfect. So that completes our introduction and a quick 10-minute talk from our eminent speakers.